What's up, everybody? I hope you're all doing great on this Memorial Day. Hopefully, you're enjoying a cookout, or maybe you're going to a cemetery to honor some loved ones. Um, Myself, it is the opening day for the local amateur baseball team, the Mankato Moondogs, and me and my family will be attending that later tonight. Um, Memorial Day is about remembering those that lost their lives in military service. And I want to talk about a baseball player. He didn't lose his life in military service, but he was wounded. And a lot of times, um, ball players like Ted Williams and Willie Mays and Bob Feller and Stan Musial are all brought up um, for their military service and what maybe could have been during times that they missed. But somebody that you don't hear talked about very often is Cecil Travis. So many of you may not even know who Cecil Travis is, but Cecil Howell Travis was a three-time All-Star, uh, played 12 seasons, all for the Senators, and during the 1933 through 1947 time period. Now, he was mainly a shortstop for most of his career. He had a 314 career batting average, which is first all time among American League shortstops, and third all time behind Honus Wagner and Archie Vaughn. In 1933, he came up to fill in for the injured Ossie Bluege. Now, Ossie Bluege was a, a decent hitter and a very, very good defensive third baseman. So I'm going to show this item, and this is going to kind of tell about Cecil's debut. So this is a cutout out of a 1938 Wheaties box. So very cool. You imagine in 1938, a little kid cutting this out and then gluing it into a scrapbook or on his headboard or who knows where, you know. So let's check this out. Gets biggest thrill of career. I was still a rookie when I got the kick of a lifetime out of baseball. In fact, it was my first game in the major leagues. We were playing against Cleveland in May 1933, and on my first trip to the plate, I rapped out a safety. Getting a hit on my first time at bat in a major league game gave me quite a kick. Then I got my second hit, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. As I got each hit, I also got more excited. By the time I collected the fifth bingle, you gotta love the way they talked back then, I was walking on clouds. Maybe it was supposed to be single. And fit to be tied. That was some experience, the greatest of my entire baseball career. And as you can see here, they wrote drafted 1941. So not drafted by Major League Baseball, but drafted by the U.S. Army, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So that's really cool. So he, I believe, was only one of, I want to say, two people to ever get 5 hits in their debut. So that's pretty cool. So he ended up hitting above 300 in 8 of his first 9 seasons, and in the 1 year he did not hit above 300. He hit 292 in 1939. So here's a 1939 play ball. Very nice card. So put that over there. And then 1941 was a big historic year for baseball. Ted Williams was hit over 400, and Joe DiMaggio, he hit 56 games in a row, 56 game hitting streak. And in the spring of 41, Cecil experimented with a heavier bat and a different grip and standing further back in the box. And he went from being an opposite field hitter to a pull hitter. And that year he set career highs in runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, and batting average. Here is his 1941 play ball. Some kid wrote their initials on there, DH. It does not mean designated hitter because that didn't exist back then. So even with DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, Cecil Travis's 218 hits led both the American and National League in hits, and his .359 batting average was second behind Ted Williams' .406. So then he was drafted in the fall was the winter of 1941. Well, he spent most of his service time stateside, and in 1942, he was granted leave to play on Dizzy Dean's All-Stars in an exhibition game versus the Negro League team, the Homestead Grays. Now, the Homestead Grays had also borrowed Satchel Paige to play in the exhibition game, and Cecil got to bat against Satchel twice. In his first at-bat, he hit a single, and his second at-bat, he struck out. Finally, in the fall of 1944, he was sent over to Europe as a member of the Special Forces of the 76th Infantry. And that winter, they performed mop-up duty following the German forces as they retreated from the Battle of the Bulge. Now, the winter of 1941 was a very harsh one, and Travis ended up getting severe frostbite on 2 of his toes, and he had to have a special operation in order to prevent amputation of both of his feet. After a short time in the hospital in France, he rejoined his unit, and after the German surrender, he remained as part of the occupying forces in France. He later returned to the States and began training for reassignment to the Pacific Theater, but the Japanese soon surrendered, and he could return to the Senators. He was awarded a Bronze Star for his service. However, when he returned to the Senators, he was not the same player, and he never would be. And he played 3 more seasons, part of 45, played a full season in 46, and he played about half the games in 1947. And then he retired officially after 1947. Nearing his retirement, the Senators held a special Cecil Travis night on August 15th, 1947. In a ceremony attended by General Dwight Eisenhower, Travis was showered with gifts, including a DeSoto automobile and a 1,500-pound Hereford bull. Now, after retirement, he worked for the Senators as a scout until 1956. Here we have Cecil Travis autograph. Now, Cecil Travis was remembered not only as a pure line drive hitter, but also one of the classiest players in baseball. Let's see if I can set that down. Maybe I'll have to remove the Wheaties. All right. One of the classiest players in the game. He was a quiet, unassuming star who was once voted by the American League umpires as their favorite player. Players such as Ted Williams and Bob Feller have advocated for Cecil's induction into the Hall of Fame. As for Cecil Travis himself, he was quoted as saying, "I was a good player, but I wasn't a great one. As far as losing years to military service," he said, "we had a job to do, an obligation, and we did it. I was hardly the only one." Cecil passed away on December 16th, 2006 on his farm in Riverdale, Georgia, at the age of 93. So, on this Memorial Day, I am remembering Cecil Travis, a great ball player, and I hope you learned something today. And thanks for watching. We'll see you later.